New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm back. We good? We good? Okay. All right. Cool. We good? All right. Well, my mouse isn't working for some reason. My mouse isn't working. Hopefully, it starts working sometimes in the middle of the show, so I can't switch screens or do anything like that. So we're just gonna have to stay here for the rest of the show, all right? Until my mouse starts to actually work. I don't know what happened, but technical difficulties. Computers do weird stuff sometimes. All right. But anyway. What's going on? This is Jay Ellis for the Nick of Time show here, give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And the Knicks, we lose to the Orlando Magic 104-93. And shout out to my guy Raw and Ryan G. They aren't here today. Raw is busy on Wednesdays, and Ryan is sick, and I'm sick too. I'm sick to my stomach, man. I'm sick to my stomach that the Knicks lost another winnable game at home. Like, I don't know what's going on with our home records, why we're better away from home than we are, but we lost another winnable game at home, 104-98. And if you want to talk Knicks basketball, if you want to go anywhere, anytime, we are here after every game. KOT show, we here all 82 win or lose. If you want to break down the game, definitely come to the KOT show and talk Knicks basketball with your boy JLS. But let's break it down. Hello. You can't hear me on the phone still? Ah, my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. My computer is doing weird stuff right now. None of my USB cords are working. Fritz says he can't hear me on the phones. Wait for. You hear me? I'm not sure if the phone's gonna be working today. I'm sorry, guys, because stuff is acting crazy. But here are the stats for the night. RJ Barrett gives you 17 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. Randall gives you 13 points. Mitch gives you 13 and 11. Alec Burks gives you 15 and 5. Obi Toppin finishes with 14 points. Shout out to Obi Toppin, who gives you 14 points. I think that ties a career high for Obi Toppin. And quickly, he gives you 7 assists. 7 assists on a night. And once again, man, the starters, these starters for these Knicks, once again, can't seem to get their continuity going. They started off strong. There's a few things I was looking for to start this game, right? I'm looking at how we guard the three-point line because Cole Anthony killed us on the three-point line. I'm looking at how we guard Cole Anthony because Cole Anthony himself killed us, right? I'm looking at the ball movement because we said Tom Thibodeau talked about how he wanted a lot of off-ball movements. He was running some plays in practice a few days ago, and they were practicing off-ball movements and moving without the ball to create better shots. And I was looking to see if that was happening. I'm looking to see the shot distribution. Who is shooting the shots? I'm looking to see if Evan Fournier is getting out of his funk. Beginning of the game, I'm looking at all of these things. And when the game starts, it starts off well. I start to see some things from the first unit. The first quarter of Doom isn't really happening as much as it used to. We actually had a lead from the starters in that first quarter. Even though the offense seems to still be a point of contention, I feel like we're getting the right shots. I think the right approach for this team, especially in the first unit, is kind of to move like the San Antonio Spurs did last year, where you share the ball. You share the ball, you move the man, and it's like whoever is hot gets the ball, and wherever the ball moves, wherever the flow of offense moves, that's how this team should move. And I feel like we did that in that first quarter with that first unit. I saw Kemba Walker get into the paint numerous times in that first quarter. I saw him being more aggressive. The shot distribution was evenly distributed without everybody in that first unit, and it just seems like we just couldn't hit shots. Straight up, we couldn't hit shots. Knicks were 6 of 22 from 3 in the first half, and we couldn't really get the shot going, but I did like the shots that we were getting. But so the first unit, it seems like the concentration level of the first unit seems to be there, at least for now, when it comes to the first quarter. Now, everybody even talking about the third quarter of Doom, but here's the thing. I think there's another Doom. There is a second quarter of Doom as well. I don't know if you guys realize this, but even when this first unit plays well in that first quarter, when they're subbed back in into that second quarter to end the quarters, they always start the end of the second quarter like they're tired. They always seem to start the end of the second quarter like they're not bringing that defensive intensity. They were closing out on threes in the first quarter. They were moving more without the ball in the first quarter. They were passing more without the ball in the first quarter. They were moving in transition in the first quarter, and then when the second unit builds a 7-point lead, right? They start to bring some momentum back, even though and then the first unit gets back into the game. All of a sudden, the principles that they used to play in that first quarter all goes away, and it doesn't help that they're not making shots. It does not help that they're not making shots. And I think a lot of the problem has to do with what we were talking about the first few games. When Ryan G was talking about everybody needs to catch the ball. The offense starts to get a little bit too predictable to me when the first unit. The audio's blown out a bit. Okay, hold on. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, I do feel like the half-court offense gets a little bit too predictable. And a little bit too stagnant as the game goes along for the first unit. We start to just do one screen and shoot, and it's and the thing is, yes, we do get open shots from those screens, but I still feel like multiple people have to touch the ball for longer stretches of times, and we shouldn't just have a heavy diet of one screen and shoot, depending on which player has the ball. And I think that's a lot of the problem that's happening with the Knicks and this first unit and the way they're playing the game. Now the second unit, once again, the second unit, they're bailing us out, and kudos to the second unit. Kudos to Tom too. Raw mentioned this earlier. I do feel like Tom is starting to lose faith in the defensive capabilities and trying to figure out who to close with in this fourth quarter, because we've seen a bunch of interesting lineups in the fourth quarter, and I think the way he's doing it so far, I'm okay with. Because I think the way he's doing it is, once the third quarter starts, right, and he's reading the game depending on what the first unit is doing in that third quarter. And what did the first unit do in that third quarter? They started out the same old. I feel like they tried to have intensity. I do feel like Randall tried to like get into the flow of things, and scream at his players when things weren't going well. But that only lasted for a whole 2 minutes. It only lasted for like a whole 2 minutes. And then it got back to, we're not closing out on threes like we did in the first quarter. Randall, you included. Randall especially, actually. We're not passing the ball, and we're missing shots. And we can't do that. So, here, my thing is this. I know Randall is the man on his team, and he had 32 minutes on the night tonight, right? And I do give Tom Thibodeau a lot of credit for mixing and matching in the fourth quarter, because he had a whole lot of fourth quarter crazy lineups that we've never seen before. But I do feel like he still has another gear to hold Randall more accountable for these games. Listen, it's one thing for Randall to play 30 plus minutes a game if he can handle 30 plus minutes a game. At this point, it seems like he's getting gassed playing the whole third quarter. And if he's getting gassed and is not producing results, take that man out the game. It got to a point where we were losing in the third quarter, and it seems like, and I'm looking at Randall, he's lingering up and down the court. The pace is a lot slower. Kemba is laboring up and down the court. Randall is laboring up and down the court. These guys stopped running. They're jogging on makes and misses. They're trotting up the court. They're playing slower, and they're not playing with the same intensity, especially on closeouts in that third quarter. And if that's happening, why are you keeping those players in the game for longer periods of time? The game before, I like what Tom did. Short whistle. Keep this first unit on a short leash. Short whistle. Keep that same energy, and not just with Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, also with Julius Randle, especially considering tonight. And my mouse is still frozen, so I might have to like look up these stats on the fly. But especially considering like that Obi was going the way he's going. Obi, I heard Alan Hahn say that Obi, he is one of the most active people in the NBA. He covers the most ground in the NBA when it comes to his speed, right? So at a time when Randall is giving you a negative, and I think he had the lowest plus minus on night on minus 21, and I'm just remembering this off the brain from looking at the stats, because like I said, my computer is kind of frozen right now and acting crazy. But it just seems like to me the writing was on the wall of Randall, and he should have went with Obi a lot longer. He should have went with Randall a lot less. Randall had 32 minutes on the night tonight. I think it should have been more like 26, 28 minutes, to be honest with you. And I think we have to monitor Randall's minutes going forward if he's not going to give you optimal effort for the whole 36 minutes. Now the fourth quarter comes and Randall's back in the game, and I get it. Mitch tweaked his ankle. Mo Bamba is tall, and Mo Bamba is deterring players from going to the basket. So I get it. At that moment, I can see why you bring Randall out to have him play the center and try to deter Mo Bamba from coming to the back from playing defense at the basket, because Mo Bamba has done great for that team, and he was deterring penetrators all night. But overall, I do feel like we definitely need to monitor Randall's minutes and his effort for all the minutes that he's there. And if he doesn't have it, he just doesn't have it. He said we have a caller, but we don't hear me on the audio on the phone. All right. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to try to get the phone working, Fritz. My computer is acting very crazy right now. I'm not going to lie. It's like freezing up. Hold on. I'm going to try my best to get things working. But I might not be able to do the phones tonight, even though I really would like to talk to you guys, because I know you guys are pissed. I know you guys are pissed. Shout out to Vib Shop said things need to change. Things need to change. And I absolutely think things need to change as well. And I've seen a lot of Quickly should start. I've seen a lot of RJ should start. I've seen a lot of Derrick Rose should start. And that could eventually be the issue, right? But that could eventually be the long-term solution, maybe. Maybe. I don't want to actually push those guys in the starting unit just yet. I still like the way the coach. If the coach is going to keep implementing if the coach is going to have short whistles, right, and implementing more offensive sets with these first units, I feel like he should do that and give these guys every opportunity to fail. But I do feel like he needs to keep these guys on a short leash for sure. And I do feel like having an alternate starter should not be off the table long term. But these guys are paid here. These guys are here for a reason. We got to give them a chance to actually fail, and give them every chance for this coach to coach these guys up to the level that they're supposed to be coached up. And it's stressful and painful to watch, and I'm hoping they get it more sooner than later. But if not, I definitely think minutes should be cut. The way that Evan Fournier hasn't played in the fourth quarter, I think we need to keep that energy. Also, yeah, I'm sorry, Ryan. Also, I'm trying to get these phones working. I'm trying, man. Ryan G's in the building. Shout out to my guy Ryan G. Ryan G's out here in the building. He's sick. He couldn't be here today. He said I'm gonna try one more thing to get this thing working. Bear with me, because I know you guys are on the phone. You want to talk, and this is a rough game. I would like to talk to you guys as well. So I'm gonna try one more thing to get these phones working. But shout out to everybody who's rocking with the K3 show. Shout out to Ryan G, Vib Shop, Myth, Fritz Alessandor. We surveyed 100 people. Jonathan Rodriguez, Myth, M Santos, and everybody else who's rocking with the KOT show. Right now, my USB is not. My computer is freezing the hell up. I'm surprised that my stream is still going. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm surprised the stream is still going. Here we go. Wait a minute, guys. We might have something. Hold up. Give me a second. I think I might be able to get some calls in. I think we're coming back to life, guys. Let's go.
Blog Talk Radio.
I think we're coming out to life, guys. But salute to the chat,
Welcome
man.
to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for chilling with me in the chat and waiting for the technical difficulties and being, patient. Okay, I think I'm good to go. Fritz, can you hear me on the phone lines? I think I'm good to go. My computer is unfreezing. I think we getting here somewhere. Fritz, can you hear me? Can you hear me in the audio, Fritz? All right, now we back. Let's go. The phone lines are open, man. First caller, if you're still there, we can patch you through. There's a lot more I want to talk about. I definitely want to talk about RJ. I definitely want to talk about Obi. I want to talk about Emmanuel quickly and get some other topics. But if you want to call in and talk these Knicks basketball and this Knicks loss, definitely do that. You already see the number right there at the bottom of the screen. 319-527-6241. All right? Fritz, do we have a caller ready? No callers yet? Okay, cool. That's fine. All right, so cool. Bet. Now let's RJ Barrett. Let's talk about RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett had a crazy game. 0 for 7 from 3, right? 0 from 7 from 3. Missed some really open shots. His shot selection was a little bit all over the place today. I do feel like he missed some open people when he drove today. And I do feel like he kind of drove into traffic a few times. But overall, I do like the aggressiveness of RJ Barrett. And I do like RJ Barrett with the second unit. There was a time where Derrick Rose was taking out the game for RJ Barrett. And I think coach, like I said, kudos to that coach. He was giving him some RJ offense, defense. And RJ, he contributed. He definitely contributed. But I need more from him. I still need more from him. I still need to hit shots. He's been hitting good. He's been getting a few open shots. The shots that was falling during that 20-point barrage, he's starting to miss. But the biggest thing I liked about RJ Barrett's game today was the 5 assists and the 9 rebounds. The Knicks were getting out-rebounded crazily in that first quarter largely because RJ had a lot of problems guarding people on drives, man. Like Wagner is like 6'10", and I think he drove past RJ like 3 or 4 times. And we had a lot of problems getting rebounds and helping out Mitch once Mitch rotated. And that was a lot of reasons why we lost in the first quarter. And turnovers as well. The careless turnovers, the stepping out of bounds, the bad passes from Derrick Rose, Kemba, and all those other things, man. We had a lot of crazy turnovers. This game was winnable, man. This game was extremely winnable if we didn't make a lot of these dumb mistakes. But RJ Barrett, not the best shooting game, 36% from the field. But had a lot of good moments, got into the paint at will tonight. Got Mitch Robinson involved tonight. Mitch had a pretty decent game with 13-11 double-double over the night. But I would like for RJ Barrett to get out the shooting slump as soon as possible. As soon as possible. And I'm not like these other guys who's including RJ Barrett in all these trades. He's still young. He still has room to grow. When you're a young player, you get inconsistent. I'm not gonna be like give RJ the keys 2 weeks ago and now trade him. That's just ludicrous. Like I'm not on that type of time. But RJ, he showed some flashes, but I still want to see more from RJ Barrett on both sides of the ball. But first caller, let's pass the first caller through. I know we said we got 2 callers in. First caller, what's your name? Where you from? And let me know what you want to talk about.
Yo, Ryan G's in the building. I know I'm kind of sick right now, but I had to call in because I have some gripes with this first unit, man.
Talk about it.
All right, so coming into this season, I know a lot of us Knicks fans were looking at this first. We were like, on offense, they're going to be great. It's on the defense that where we expected they would be, they would be lacking a bit compared to last year's team.
Right.
But it seems like this year, the offense has regressed. Even with the new additions on offense and the way I'm seeing them play at the moment, there is there's little to no ball movement. There's little to no people moving off the ball to create shots. Like, there's no shot creation whatsoever. And I know this is going to be a stretch because the Knicks are nowhere within the stratosphere of the team right now. But last night I watched the Warriors versus the Nets. And the way the Warriors move the ball around, it's not even like when Curry brings the ball up the floor, Curry's the main option. A lot of times Curry brings the ball up the floor, he passes the ball. And the ball moves around, and then sometimes the ball comes back to Curry.
Right.
And Curry takes a shot. It's like with the Knicks, it's like they're playing like as if when the guys get the ball, they're like, you know what? I don't know when I'm going to get the ball back again, so let me just take this shot right now and let me get my shots up. Like, they're not playing with that trust on offense where it's like, let's pass the ball around, let's try to get the best shot. It's like everybody's just like, one pass and then you see a screen, then someone takes a shot. And it's like the opponent's defense is not putting in any work. It's easy to guard the Knicks right now.
Easy.
And it's frustrating because I'm like, the Knicks have a lot of good offensive options, and they just do not move the ball around. And then on top of that, I feel like since the players are not engaged on offense, that hurts them on the defensive side as well. And with those guys in the first unit, like, those guys need to be engaged. You cannot have these guys not be engaged because on defense they're just gonna be lapses, and then the other teams that's why the plus minus is so terrible because they're not engaged into the game because there's no ball movement. Like, I don't know how many possessions I've counted where there's maybe one or two passes instead of at least being 4 or 5 passes where everybody touches the ball at least to get a good shot.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm pulling my hair right now because at this point I'm like, yo, just bench the whole first unit and just have the second unit play the full 48 at this moment because I'm so frustrated with the first unit right now.
Yeah, and shout out to my guy. Hey, Siam Ahazik, this is not a caller. This is Ryan G. This is actually he's on the show every day. He's just sick. He's just sick today, and he was so disgusted that he even called in when he was sick. And you hear the nasally voice. Shout out to my guy Ryan G. Can't stay away from the show. But no, you're absolutely right. And at this point, I'm just like, yo, what is happening? Is this the coaching? Is it the players? Is it a mixture of both? Why is it chemistry? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure. Okay, I applauded this front office for getting shot creators. Evan Fournier is supposed to be a shot creator. Kemba is supposed to be a shot creator, and we're not utilizing them. I don't know if we don't have the right mix of shot creation plus off ball movement, or is it just that? No, because I don't know what's going on, Ryan. That's not it. That can't be it. Because Evan Fournier moves off ball.
Mm-hmm.
RJ Barrett has a propensity to move off ball when he was in Duke. It's just this first unit is just not gelling for some reason. I think to me, I don't know, man. To me, maybe the additions don't have the energy level to sustain the offensive output and the defensive output that Tom Thibodeau wants them to have for the entire game. That's the only thing I can really think about. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because when they start the game, for the last few games anyway, you start to see them move off the ball. You see them closing out on defense. Kemba played beautiful defense on Cole Anthony, especially in that first quarter, fighting over screens, challenging at the rim. But every time they come back into the game in that second quarter, that intensity is still not there. That intensity wavers. So it might be a legs thing. I don't know. Am I off on thinking that, or is it just I don't know.
I don't know what it is either, but I don't think it's a legs thing. Just for the simple fact that, like, look at the beginning of third quarters. They always come out flat in the third quarter, and I'm like, yo, that can't be a legs thing because I mean, y'all just coming off a halftime. Y'all got rest. They just be coming out flat in the third quarter. So I don't think it's a legs thing. Like I can't pinpoint as to what it is right now, but at the moment, I think you're gonna have to put on the coaches because why is ball movement not being preached? Why is ball movement not being preached? Why is off ball movement not being preached? And if it is being preached, why are the players not doing it? So,
right. And maybe it's a discipline thing too. Maybe it's a discipline thing. Like even the game before, I saw a lot more Randall, Evan Fournier, quick pick and roll. Randall diving to the basket for getting some easy baskets. I haven't seen that this game too. Maybe it's the discipline right now. Maybe you know what? I'm gonna say it's the discipline because I've seen a lot more of it the game before and not enough of it this game. And there needs to be more practices and more reps to have that first unit keep moving on offense and defense, keep moving the ball on offense and defense for the entire game and not just for that first 8-minute stretch in the first quarter. Because that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, man. And like, I don't want to be the type to be like, 15 games into the season, it's time to panic and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, I agree with what Tom said the other day. Like, if you're going to be like, this team needs time to gel. 20 games are going to pass. It ain't going to be like they still need time to gel. And then 30 games are going to pass. And then when you look, it's going to be the end of the season. So at this point, I'm like, I might do some drastic things right now and be like, you know what? Heads have to roll right now. And I might have to start putting in Grimes and other players who are on the end of the bench if the starters are not performing the way they're performing, because I don't know what's gonna light that spark in them at the moment. Like heads are gonna have to roll soon if there's no improvement.
Yeah, you're right about that. Absolutely. Orlando Magic, they outscore us in the 22-18. The last 3 quarters, we only won one quarter. 29-26 in the second, 22-18 in the third, 32-31 in the fourth, and they win the game by 6 points. Ball game right there, man. Turnovers were a big deal. And I also believe rebounds are a big deal as well. Knicks, man, just need to get it together. I don't know what to say, man. But there are some bright spots. I don't know. There are some bright spots. Shout out to my guy quickly. Shout out to my guy quickly. Shout out to Obadiah Toppin. If Obi ever starts to hit the 3-point shot consistently, people are in trouble. All right? People are in trouble. Obi Toppin on the day, he gives you 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. When you're looking at the plus minuses today, there's only 2 people with positive plus minuses today. That is Mitchell Robinson, who gives you the double-double, and Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin plus 11, Mitch Robinson plus 8. What did you like about Obi Toppin today, Ryan?
I mean, Obi Toppin just playing with a lot of energy right now, which is what a lot of the Knicks players are lacking at the moment, especially that starting lineup right there. And yeah, he's playing with a lot of energy, and I like the way he's playing at the moment. And I gotta cut this call short because I gotta go.
Okay. That's fine.
But yeah, man, I just had to get it off my chest real quick about the first unit. I will be back on Sunday, most definitely, though.
All right, man. Shout out to my guy Ryan.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, peace. But Obi is funny, man. He's the only, because the bench unit kind of got off to a slow start. Derrick Rose didn't really have it today. He started to turn on a little bit. Derrick Rose made a few crazy turnovers. Obi Toppin scored 4 points in the first quarter. He was the only second unit guy to score. The second unit actually got outplayed for the first time in that first half, even though they were the reason why they came back, largely because Obi Toppin and our guy Alec Burks, who gave you 15 points on a night. And it seemed those Alec Burks 15 points seemed like 30, and it's crazy because of the way he got the 15 points. He got it off of one dribble pull-ups off of screens, and that's usually a shot. You don't like a heavy diet of that too many times, but for Alec Burks it seems to work. And he also had a really nice layup at the rim. And when Alec Burks is going, you got to give it to him. He's bailed us out a lot last season, and coach trusts him in the fourth quarter. So when it comes to these close games and these starting lineups, like last game, Alec Burks is going to give you offense and defense at the end of the games. As the season goes on, we might start to see more Alec Burks playing defense and closing these end of the fourth quarters, especially if he's hitting shots like this. And especially if he's playing defense like this. Because as much as we talk about Alec Burks' defense last season, this season is night and day. It's incredibly night and day. Like, his closeouts on jump shots, his rotations have been better. His one-on-one defense on dribble drives have been better. Everything has been great about Alec Burks. And the three-point shot has been deadly, even though he got off to a slow start in the beginning. I think he had 4 threes. I think he had all at the end, and all in big moments. So, big game for Alec Burks. Next caller up, I see you. Fritz says there's a caller up. One more caller. Caller, let us know what's your name and where you're from.
Yo, Jay Ellis. It's Joe from Atlantic City.
What's going on, Joe?
Not much, man. I feel like tonight's loss was, like, worse than people are really feeling. Because, like, for me, man, like, I just hate the way that we come out against these, like, really bad teams and we just play. Like, we beat ourselves, man. Yeah. We really do. It's almost like when we go out there, it's like we're trying to fit in too many pieces and we're trying to do too much and we're not making the game simple. You know, like, for example, is your mouse working right now? Because I wanted to
it's working
stats. Now. Could you give us our 3-point percentage for tonight?
3-point percentage for tonight. Shot 32% from 3, which is it's actually pretty
terrible.
It's terrible, but before it was like 24% at halftime. So it was like the way we even climbed was crazy, but terrible. Exactly.
But this is how I'm looking at it, Jay Ellis. If you're like just kind of like at a base level, a fundamental level, any basketball team, when you shoot the 3 and you miss it and the other team gets the ball and then immediately gets the possession, that irks me so much because that right there on a fundamental level shouldn't happen. You know, there should be some like scuffle down low for the ball. We should be trying to get a rebound, but we just throw away possession after possession after possession, trying to make us something we're not. We're like trying to put a square in a circle. In my own opinion, Jay Ellis, I don't see us as a very good three-point shooting team, and we're just trying to shoot too much, too many threes. We don't make the game simple enough. We just need to be able to make quick passes, penetrate to the lane, dish off the ball, and hit it too. It's really simple. You know what I mean? We make the game so much harder than it has to be. And you know what? I kind of blame Tibbs because he said, we're going to shoot more threes. But it's killing us right now. It really is. Because, you have Randall setting up at the three-point line. He shoots it, he bricks it. They get the ball, they run it up, they get it too. You know what I mean? And it happens over and over and over again. And we don't make the adjustment. We don't make the two-man pass, the hockey pass, just to get a two-point play to get us back in the game. We're trying to play catch-up. And when you play catch-up in basketball and you put yourself in a position where you need to hit the three now, because if you don't hit the three, guess what? The other team's going to come down, and then they're going to score, and we're losing by even more. So it's literally a double-edged sword. If we just knew how to play smarter basketball, man, we just need to learn how to just settle for the 2 instead of settling for the 3 and missing and giving up an easy possession. And that's just the way I'm seeing this. And against these teams that are like 3-11, you can't just keep giving them back the ball. Like, why are we giving up these possessions? Let's just get an easy 2.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough because we got guys here who are career 3-point shooters, right? Like Kemba Walker has been shooting threes his whole career. He started off one of the top 3-point shooters in the league at 57%, then dropped dramatically. Evan Fournier has been shooting around 40% last year from 3. RJ shot 40% last year from 3. Randall shot 40% last year from 3. For all intents and purposes, like, we should be a way better 3-point shooting team than we've been showing over these last 4 games. So I understand the rationale of taking it, especially if everybody on this team right now has a reputation of actually hitting them. What might be the problem is the way we're getting the shots. Like,
well, my thing is, Jay Ellis, when you take a three-pointer, it's supposed to be a smart play. When you're winning and you want to extend the lead, take a 3, hit a 3 and extend the lead. But if you're down, don't keep giving them back the ball by missing threes and bricking. It's hurting the team more than it's helping us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's hard for me to argue when we're losing. It's hard for me to argue numbers when we're losing these games and our 3-point shooting percentage is plummeted. Like, there's something
we just need to go back. We need to go back to playing defense, getting a stop, and just hitting the easy two, giving them the ball, to take back from the sideline, and then play more defense.
Right.
But we're letting them get points in transition by missing threes, and it's killing us, dude.
No, I agree because 4 for 12, we shot 49. We shot 49 threes today, right? Grant, a lot of those threes were open, but I do feel like if they're not falling, I do feel like we need to mix it up a little bit sometimes. I think Mo Bamba kind of deterred a lot of that as well. He was protected. He protected the basket well today. But I think you're right. I still feel like we can be a 3-point shooting team though. I do feel I don't know. Call me crazy. I can't see Evan Fournier just shooting like crap after shooting well his entire career. I would have to think he has to wake up eventually. we just.
Why isn't Tibbs drawing up these 2-pointer plays? Instead of trying to give Randall the ball on the perimeter, just shooting a 3 and missing. We need more cutting. We need more ball movement. We need more simple 2-point plays, man. That's how we're gonna win. We're not gonna win by out shooting teams in the 3-point category. We need to make it simple. Play defense, slow the game down, hit an easy 2, give them the ball back, play defense again, get a stop, and just keep doing that. Because that's the only way we're gonna win. If we keep trying to shoot threes, man, this season's gonna be a long one.
I agree.
And I hate to say it, but
I agree with you. I agree that we have to definitely mix it up. 49 threes is a lot of threes, especially when we're not hitting them at the rate that we're supposed to be hitting them. I definitely agree that we need more off-ball.
There's no reason to be shooting 49 threes against the Magic, dude. Why? You know what I mean? I don't know. We gave them that game. We beat ourselves. I don't know, man. It's frustrating to watch.
I agree,
we're a better team than we're playing, and it's because of us. We're overextending, man. We got to play smarter basketball. Play for the 2.
I agree. We need to mix in these twos a lot more, man. Especially when we missing them. I agree with you, man. And I appreciate the call, man. Definitely call in the program next time. We're playing the Rockets Saturday. Rockets are next up on Saturday. All right. Oh, I guess he left. Shout out to everybody else who's rocking with the show, man. Shout out to the chat, man. Angry times, man. We lost to the Magic. And listen, the East is rough. There's no really bad team in the East anymore. The bad team was the Magic, and we just lost to a bad team. Twice. Half their wins are against us. And we need to fix that. We need to figure that out, man. We definitely need to figure that out. But kudos to Tom. I do give Tom credit for mixing in the lineups at the end. There was at one point he had Rose, Burks quickly topping Mitch. At one point he had Burks, RJ quickly topping Randall. And I like that he's at least trying things in the fourth quarter. We've kind of, we've criticized Tom for being rigid in his lineups and only going with the starters. But the writing's on the wall. The trust isn't broken. Maybe you could make the argument that Toppin should have played a little bit more because he had 14 points and he had to go from 3. But I still think that Tom hasn't trusted Toppin all the way because after he missed that 1-3, he went right to Randall. So and I get it, but I think Toppin, if the more Toppin plays like this, the more Toppin starts to hit these threes, the more Toppin starts to get these rebounds and these energy plays, I think he'll be trusted even more in this fourth quarter. And hopefully we learn. Listen, we have a few games off. We have a few days off. There's Thursday there's off, Friday there's off, and then we have the Magic on Saturday. So I fully expect a practice to be had before the next game, for us to be looking at tape, for us to be working on off-ball movements, working in pick and rolls with Randall and Fournier again, working with other plays with Kemba, and I expect us to play better on the next game. All right. But yeah, man, that's our show, man. Shout out to the show. Shout out to everybody who's rocking with the show. Next game will be on Saturday. But shout out to everybody who's watching. I see you in the chat. We surveyed 100 people. Says the Mitch injury hurt us. Yeah, the Mitch injury hurt us because he was playing well. He had the second highest plus minus on the night for sure. Brooklyn Butch, he's just tight. I get you, man. Augustine Richardson says Bamba outplayed us. Man, listen, I was called crazy last season. I don't know how many of y'all was watching in the offseason last season when I said trade a second rounder and Kevin Knox for Bamba. And I was called crazy. I was called crazy. But right now, that man is like number 3 in the NBA in block shots, and he's hitting threes. He's playing well, man. I really wish he'd made that play that right now because Bamba killed us. We're kind of short at center right now, and when it was Taj versus Bamba, as good as old man River Taj been playing, he really can't compete with Bamba's length on that side of the court. And he was able to out-rebound and kind of play over the top of him in that second quarter. And that's why I don't think you saw as much Taj when it was game time, because he was just outplaying Taj. And what can he do? Taj, like, the man has an 8-foot wingspan. J.R. Acosta says, thanks for the show, J. Ellis. You're doing more work than the Knicks tonight. Shouts out to Nick. Shout out to J. Acosta. Thank you for the shout out, man. But shout out to everybody who's rocking with the show. If you like the show, please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. We will be back versus the Rockets. But shout out to Mr. Whatever Man. Shout out to the mods, Craig Williams. Shout out to Knicks Nation TV. Shout out to Fritz, Augustine Richardson. And everybody else who's rocking with the show. And you know what? You already know, man. You already know what to fire. So if you want that KOT snapback, you know where to go. Get that snapback at nicktimeshow.com/catalog if you want that KOT snapback. You get it in blue and orange, and we also have it in black and white. Also, you can follow us on all social media. That is DKOT Show on Twitter, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram and Facebook as well. All right. That is our show. All right. And as always,
Shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
it's a mess out here in Knicks Nation, man. It's a mess out here. But we back.